kick out at one. Kicked out at one.
I don't know what it is, but there are a few times in my life where I've had cheese that has tasted any better than cheese that has been on the end of a toothpick handed to me at a mall food court. Those cheese samples are fucking amazing. And even when I get cheese at that same store, not nearly as good.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what they lace it with amphetamines or some shit. I don't know, but that cheese is that cheese makes me weep. Hello everyone and welcome to a subdued episode of the All Out review episode of Kick Out at One, a wrestling adjacent podcast. I am your co-host, the trained and professional Vivian Jade, along with my fellow co-host, forever lost, Mikey Wild. As I said already, today we are reviewing what we saw live and in person at the, what the hell was it? What arena?
It's the Now Arena.
The Now Arena.
Yeah, used formerly Sears Center.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so Sears, the Sears Tower, is now the Willis Tower. Sears is losing their power. We saw it live, so now we're going to be reviewing All Out 2022. It is, by our count, still going on. So many matches, so much time. First impressions of the show, Mikey.
I enjoyed the show quite a bit. There were certainly things that were a letdown that we were really looking forward to. There are certain things that in the moment I was either let down or really excited about. And then on the back end of it, as I'm less excited about it or am more understanding of the decision. The one thing I do know about the show is I had nothing better to do than watch that AAA tag title match. And I still didn't. No, thank you.
We were literally right outside the door to the arena. We were getting our tickets and we were just waiting. And we had the option to stand at the door and look at the screen and watch it. Had totally enough time to walk over and watch it. I walked over to see what was happening, because we're like, oh, maybe they're starting with Kingston and Ishii. Right. Maybe they're starting with one of the other matches. I walked over. I saw Sammy and Ty making out. I walked back and said, there's nothing to watch. I told them what it was. I didn't just leave it at that, but I told them what it was, and we were like, nope, I'd rather stand here at the roll call and just not watch it. We literally we did our grid and we acknowledged on the preview, the predictions, that we were recording it before Rampage, and because of that we were probably going to miss whatever developments, and they might add matches. There was something that said Tony Khan was feeling like they might want to spice things up by adding maybe a couple of matches, but they only added one, thank Christ. But they did add one, and so we were saying, well, we would probably do predictions for that and talk about what we would think about it on this. But literally when they added a match that not only had we seen before, but literally on that show, and once before that already, I texted Mikey. I was like, do you have a prediction for this? What'd you say?
I said... I remember just saying I absolutely could not care. Like, no, I don't care at all about that.
I nominate us not to do that.
Yeah, I would like to cordially nominate us to not do that.
Yeah, we didn't watch it, so we couldn't give an accurate review either way. And even if we had watched it, we don't give a goddamn.
No. I don't give a cinnamon toast fuck about anything happening with that mixed tag match.
Yeah. AAA deserves better than that, and so do we.
So does Ruby. So does Ortiz. I'm not sure Ty or Mello do.
Nah, no, neither.
Ty or Mello. Ty or Sammy do.
Ty or Mello or Sammy or Guevara. But certainly that crowd deserved better, and I think they knew
question.
it. So, yeah, we chose standing in a line over that fucking match. And also, one other thing we should acknowledge before we get into this card is that there has been a lot of kerfluffle about what happened after the show. That is the extent of us talking about it on this show.
Yeah,
we're not doing anything more on it. When
things will come up, get settled, like this is not a show that I dabble in conjecture and rumor and stuff like that. When I know facts, I'll talk about things, but I'm not going to speculate on anything.
Yeah. I mean, eventually consequences will happen. Eventually things will happen. Eventually official company lines will come out. They haven't. All we have is people saying, we think things have happened. Reports say some shit might have happened. And that's not news.
And so far, all the evidence has been like, I've seen reports of like, here's a screenshot of Tony Khan being told there's something happening in the back. Like, yeah.
The fuck is that? That's I swear to God, sometimes wrestling news sites are so fucking annoying that they're like, oh, someone liked a tweet. Headline of the day. Like, really fucking... Anyway, we could spend an hour on that, or we could review a fucking pay-per-view that I was so excited to see.
And here's the thing as well. Especially when you have a company like AEW who knows that fans hang on every word, that fans absolutely shit on dirt sheets, yet hang on every word of dirt sheets. So this could be something that never even happened, or it could be something that kind of happened, is purposely getting blown out of proportion to see where they can go. And it could be something that is 100% true, and they're trying to downplay it. It could be any number one of those, which all in all just means, I don't know. So I don't care.
Yeah. So whatever the fuck, however the fuck, eventually shit will happen, and it ain't gonna come out on this fucking show.
Nah.
So why waste our fucking time when we could talk about something that actually happened, which is us having a good time at a fucking pay-per-view.
Let's go.
Reception's been mixed about this show, Mikey. Don't you know? There have been people who have said that, you know, Tony didn't learn from the lessons that led up to the WrestleManias before the 2-night WrestleManias. Too many fucking matches waters down fan experience. But also, you know, there was reports of, you know, wrestlers being mad that they're not getting TV time. That started to work into the show with W. Morrissey's debut, with people with the picketing, and we want TV time, but that was some shit. They were taking the piss.
Yeah, no question.
But then you get 15 fucking matches, or however many it was at this point.
15.
And I can honestly say there was phenomenal wrestling at this show, but I was taking notes alongside the results of these matches, and at some point, a lot of the notes started to bleed together with, "This is good, but I don't care anymore."
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely some matches where I really did care. You could see me. I was like, "Oh God, shit. Ah!" But then there were some other ones where I was just sitting there like, "This is really nice."
Right.
But we'll get to the specific ones.
Yeah, I'll say keep trucking along. I believe we're still on the pre-show, so
yeah, we haven't talked about a specific match yet. So.
Not at all yet.
Yeah, if we
other
actually,
than how much we don't care about it.
It was a great show. Yeah. Let's actually get to a specific match now. I apologize. I didn't write these down in order of them happening. I just wrote them down in the order that they were on Wikipedia when I wrote down the grid. So I apologize if this is out of the match order. The first match I wrote down here, Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston, which actually was the main event of the pre-show. Fucking, oh my God, these dudes' chests.
I loved it. It was 90s All Japan, and I was here for it. I fucking loved it.
I think someone timed it. It was like 2.5 minutes of straight chops.
Yeah, I'll take it. There were certainly some small things on Eddie's part when it came to suplexes, either getting up for the suplex or throwing the suplex, where it just seemed a little gassed. But it's a match like this, like that might bother me in another match, but a match like this where two dudes are just slugging, I don't want things to be completely crisp. And like, I like the added, I can barely get him up, and like I'm still going to drop him where I can, because it is like I'm going, pardon the pun, I'm going all out here. I've just had everything taken out of me, but I'm still going to throw this, and I don't care where it lands or how it lands. I need to get an offense in here somewhere before I enjoy that part of it, to be honest with you. Now, if I'm watching a Ricochet versus Will Ospreay match and I see I don't want to call him Sandbag because I don't think that's what Eddie did at all.
No.
I see, suplexes aren't as clean because someone either mistimed it or they just didn't jump right. And then it's like, oh, well, what? This wasn't very good. Whereas this, I think it adds to. And that's one of the things I love about King's Road and 80s All Japan Wrestling. And Ishii and Kingston captured that for me. I fucking love this.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference you get between, like you mentioned, an Ospreay Ricochet match, which you know it's an easier comparison to like an athletic display of Cirque du Soleil or something, but it's flippy shit, but it's athletically incredibly impressive, but it doesn't resemble closer to a fight, so it's more pretty impressive.
Yeah. Agreed.
But this is more brutally impressive. So right. I even said it to you there. If everything was pretty and fluid, it wouldn't look realistic.
Right.
So absolutely, totally agree with you. This was everything it should have been and more. Absolutely perfect. As far as I'm concerned, are we doing ratings? We've never done a review of a show before.
No, I'll say I wouldn't throw
no
in the future when I'm going into a show knowing I'm watching it and giving a rating. But that wasn't even a concept to me when we were taking this in, to be honest with you. And I think if I were to have to give them a fair rating, I would have to watch them back on TV as well. And we were actually trying to get someone, schedule didn't work out for someone who was watching the pay-per-view to be on with us. That way there was that different vantage point. And I think if I'm going to give a proper grade to a match, if I were already there live, I'd have to see it back on TV as well. But this was a match that, I mean, it was an easy A for me, especially being on the pre-show, low expectations, and they ramped it up. They didn't just stay clobbering each other; they ramped it up, came back down, and then you almost forgot about the chops because they started throwing chops again, and then like, oh shit, that's right, those are bombs. I will say though, however, because you recognize it, I think all of our ears recognized it.
Yeah, the miking.
Yes.
There was a turnbuckle, the bottom, I say the bottom. If you're looking from the hard cam, it is the one on the right. That turnbuckle camera had a microphone on it where anytime they were in that corner, it was mic'd in the arena. And it was very weird. It was very distracting.
It was. And like I thought it worked brilliantly for things like this, which this might be the whole premise of why they did it, was for the chops, which I don't think their chops need to be mic'd in the first place.
No.
But yeah, then we would start getting like small cells that were like, and it would like sound like, like what the fuck was that?
Or you'd get Moxley in the corner being like,
yeah,
and then you'd be hearing it in your left ear, like, what the hell?
Right, it was very odd.
Yeah, it was very strange. But I you said like almost you forget the chops. For me, it was a little different. Like because they did such a prolonged and brutal like chop display, it almost like I kind of get a thing where like I get why there was a concerted effort in older wrestling cards where if you had designated spots like that, you wouldn't use it throughout other matches. You would designate a card where certain things were special to certain matches in certain ways, and you wouldn't use it elsewhere to make it special. Because anytime anyone else did chops, it fell flat as fuck to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Because everyone else, almost every other match, someone was doing chops.
And I'm sorry, I should clarify my point. I meant in the match when they were changing gears and they started like hitting each other in the face, throwing like forearms and doing moves. I kind of forgot about the chops, and then they start. Ishii and Kingston started throwing the chops again. You're like, oh god, that's right. Their chests are beaten to hell.
Oh, yeah. I know what you meant.
Okay, I'm right with you though, 100%.
Yeah. I don't think anyone else on that show should have been throwing a single fucking chop, because every time they did, I immediately went to Kingston and Ishii did it better, and these guys that are doing it in the match, whatever I was watching in that moment, are not as good at doing those chops.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why like Flair was so synonymous with chops, is because, well, his chops weren't the best, but whenever he was on the card, no one else did them.
Right.
And
I don't think a lot of people realize, and I'm sure they don't, and you may not. There's so many different varieties of a chop. Like Flair's chop, when he chops, he cups his hand slightly. That way, when it lands on the skin, it makes that popping noise and slaps. And a lot of people think that chop is like, I'm just going to open up my hand and 5-star you. No, that'll make a thud.
Yeah.
So you do still have to have flexibility in your hands so that when it hits, your palm like flexes into it. But the chop, the Japanese style chops that Ishii and Kingston throw are where you're coming across. You do that same thing with your hand, but when you go your entire forearm, you're throwing a forearm with it, and you're not like other chops you hit and you bounce off. These you are pressing all the way down. You're not popping off. You are going through them. And so these were like, it's like taking forearm strikes and chops at the same time, and they're vicious. Yeah. So I assure you guys, when you see like Ric Flair throwing a shitload of chops, like, yeah, he'll get great sound on his chops, but he's not trying to make he's not trying to break blood vessels like Walter or Gunther. But when the Japanese chops, like those are going to fuck you.
The knife edge chop versus a fucking,
yeah.
I closed my fist. I don't know why that was dumb.
I was about to say
that's just
a knife edge chop to a knife edge stab.
Yeah, just a knife. That's just a literal knife.
Right.
Ric Flair, just the final match.
Who had the better chop, Flair or Michael Myers?
Jason. Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to the Santa mask back there.
Oh, is that the Jason Santa?
Yeah.
Is that Michael Myers Santa? What's a Jason Santa?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then had the sign underneath it says "Have a killer day."
That's awesome. I have a shirt that's like one of those all around prints. I made it myself. I just uploaded a picture that I found, and it's Michael Myers with a Christmas hat on, like with the death stare. So
nice.
I love Halloween and Christmas, so when they come together, big fan.
Yeah. So that was the first match. We're at 20 minutes.
Hell yeah.
We're going to go as long as the fucking pay-per-view.
I want to say, well, I'm going to talk about the matches I liked and the ones I didn't, you're not going to hear a lot about. The ones that really didn't have anything, you're not going to hear a lot about. So that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, Pac versus Kip Sabian, that happened.
It absolutely did.
Yeah, for the Pacific Standard Time to steal Liz's line. Oh, I didn't say who got the point on the last one. You, me, and Liz got the point on that one. Bree took a loss on the last match.
Okay.
So Pac versus Kip Sabian in for the All Atlantic Pacific Mountain Time title. Kip's return match, talking to the box like it's head. Pac won with the red arrow or the green arrow or the
black arrow, maybe.
Flash.
It was a great match. But again,
it was serviceable.
As you said.
I literally wrote heatless as the note. It's one word, heatless.
And a lot of it came like with Kip Sabian attacking Pac, but him playing the almost a babyface role with the crowd. And granted, you could say it's just the Chicago crowd getting into a heel. Yeah, but he wrestled like a babyface as well. I do think this is a fresh coat of paint for Kip, and I'm actually looking forward to his stuff going on. I am not thrilled with him talking to the box like head.
Yeah.
That doesn't do anything for me at all.
No.
But it was a very good match, but it's lost on me because it didn't mean anything. And so if someone were to say, "Hey man, how was the match?" rated, like I would think like, "Oh yeah, it was fine." Like fine is what I would use to describe it, but that's not entirely true. They were both very clean, very crisp. It's a whole new Kip Sabian that you guys are seeing. I just didn't understand why it needed to be, and why it needed to be on this show at all. Why it needed to be hot shotted here, and even more so if you want us to take titles seriously. I don't know why you're burying them on the pre-show. It's a very Vince era WWE thing to do.
Yeah, literally the post-match where Orange Cassidy comes out and Pac just says no. That was more entertaining to me than the whole match.
Yeah. I agree entirely. Yeah. Like again, it was a lot of things where I was like, oh, that was done well. Oh, cool. And again, I mean, I watch wrestling differently than a normal person would, I suppose. Yeah. But there were matches on this show that had me out of my seat. Like so excited. And it doesn't matter how good the wrestling is if I don't have something to engage me of why it's taking place or why it's happening. It just I kind of fall flat.
Yeah, you can have the best canvas in the world, the best paintbrushes. If you ain't got good colors to paint with, you just got good tools.
Yeah, and I mean it's the same thing with like both are great artists. Yeah. And they have a great canvas, but what they were given to paint with is just going to produce, Hitler-esque paintings.
Yeah. He was a shit painter and a shit person. One little more than the other. That was a weird thing to bring out of nowhere. So we're gonna move on now.
In my mind, I was trying to think of like who are some shitty painters. I was like, because even all like artists that I know, like may not, subjectively like it, but they're all good at what they do. And then I was like, a Hitler original. They were all bad.
Yeah, they were. He had no sense of direction. His lighting was bad.
Objectively bad.
Yeah.
And thank you to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for reminding me of that.
Yeah. Next match. And the last one on the pre-show. Hook versus Angle Perkins.
Angelo
Parker.
Something? Parker, that's right.
Angelo Parker. The guy that we literally, I uploaded the clip because it was surprisingly funny. Our clip, good compliment to us. Good job, us. Golf clap to us. Blow ourselves. Circle jerk. Oh, I didn't do the thing. Liz was the only one to get a point on the last match.
Yeah.
Rare to hear that a lot.
Right? Damn it, Liz.
We should have had her on this.
I had thought about it. I really did.
She was so fucking good. God damn it. She was so amazing. Hook versus Angelo Parker was almost exactly what I expected it to be, except it went longer for no reason.
I don't know. I think I went to concessions or something at this time.
Yeah, I think you were getting your $20 slice of pizza.
Yeah. Okay.
Concessions.
It was $9.
It's an exaggeration.
Per slice of pizza.
That's still a crime.
And
the
slice of pizza was a fraction of a real slice of pizza.
Yeah, it was like that big.
So she's not joking that if it was a regular size of pizza, it would have been $20.
Yeah.
It was absurd.
Fuck concessions. That's why I snuck in 2 sandwiches in my tits.
Yes. The PBJ and boobs.
Yeah. Like my tits were huge going into the thing. I couldn't put them in my bag because they wouldn't let that in, because when we went to Impact, I had a water bottle. They wouldn't let me keep water. So I learned from that, and I snuck PB&J, one in each tit. And then when I put it in before, I was like, if I even take it on the shuttle and try to sneak them out of my purse in there, they'll report it. They'll remember that. So I did it in my car, and I had them with me all the way into the hotel, all the way
that
to
whole
the ship.
time?
The whole time.
Shit.
I was like, I don't want one person to be able to see it. And then when we got to our seat, I was looking around to make sure none of those fucking overprotective, you gotta sit down.
Yeah,
assholes.
That was ridiculous.
One of the fucking Andy Frayne. I used to work for Andy Frayne. That company is bullshit. One of the Andy Frayne security guards was telling people they had to sit down in the crowd at a wrestling show. Go fuck yourself. But yeah, I looked around, and then I took them out and then put them in my purse. And when Mikey came back, I was like, do you think I could get kicked out for having food snuck in? He was like, no, go ahead, eat them. And I was like, okay, good.
Yeah,
my tits got magically smaller.
But this
the fuck are we
this
talking
match
about?
cost me $20 some odd.
Yeah.
And so you were the smart one. I picked this match. It wasn't even like I was like, I don't want to see this. I just didn't have any other matches, because the only match I really didn't want to see was the very first one, the AAA match, which I didn't. But if this would have been on at this point, like, oh, awesome. But there was no matches that I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and leave during this match. So I was like, I'll take the opportunity here, because I know this is a foregone conclusion of who's going to win this. I just didn't realize that there would be a Action Bronson spot, which I only read about, did not see it. So you'll have to give the details on everything. Excuse me, guys.
Oh yeah, the Action Bronson. Disclaimer: I don't know who Action Bronson is, but he's
the guy that does Hook's music.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know.
That won't be the only singer we know tonight.
Oh my God. That was Jesus Christ.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So yeah, Action Bronson came out, but he was in the crowd. And so what happened was, after the match, after Hook won, because and everyone got a point for that. After that, the other Jericho Appreciation Society person, Daddy Magic, you called him, he came out, and they're trying to beat up on Hook, and everyone's like, oh, Danhausen's gonna come out, thank God, we love Danhausen. But no, we got Action Fuckass out of the crowd to come out and do, I think, like a shove or something, and scared them off. And then Hook was like, oh, and he gave Action Bronson the FTW title, and he held it up and then put it on his shoulder, and then they walked out, and that was it. That was it. But even before the match, fucking Justin Roberts was like, we got Action Bronson in the front row, and everyone was like, who the fuck?
I'll say I think that's unfair, because I definitely know who Action Bronson is.
No, people were like,
I think there's quite a few people who knew who Action Bronson was.
I'm the idiot.
Only because of the references on AEW by like Taz in passing, not because he's like a well-known musician by any stretch of the imagination.
No, when Justin Roberts gave the thing and Action Bronson got up and Hook was like, "That's the guy that we're supposed to cheer," people were like, "Oh, okay."
So I'm actually going to look him up right now on Spotify so I can see. Oh yeah, his monthly listeners are just 2 million.
Yeah. Yeah. He made Hook look like a fucking twink.
Turns out he's a fucking superstar. So 134 million for his beat with Chance the Rapper. So I mean, you know, I guess we're wrong.
Yeah.
Hi, Bree.
Yeah. Mikey says hi. She's very tired. Today was her first day at a new job, so she's very tired. She had her orientation today, so she's very sleepy.
I was gonna say, how did it go? But I mean, it's orientation. It never goes well. It's just a slog to get through.
It went well, but it was very tiring. You know, social energy and whatnot.
Certainly, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so
that brings us to the main card.
Yep, which I also missed. So
I know the first match was the ladder match, so I guess we can start with that. Oh my god, it was not. It could have ended bad.
None of it mattered.
Yeah,
nothing that happened in this match fucking mattered at all.
Yeah,
one bit of it.
It could have been a disaster, and it was not good. What they did at the end of this thing. Whatever the fuck happened in this ladder match, there were a couple of cool things that happened. A lot of nonsense happened in this thing. And we have a lot of admin shit to talk about with this thing. They start off, and I'm instantly reminded of the fact that they don't start off like normal ladder matches with everyone in it. And we're reminded of the fact that they give away the fact that it's dumb, because they've never established that either it cannot be won until everyone's out, because that can't work because people were already trying to grab the chip. So we already know that no one's going to win until everyone's out. So we don't buy into any of the spots where people try to run for the chip until everyone's out, because there's no way Andrade or fucking Claudio or all these people are not going to get their fucking time to come out and do all this shit, because this was the show where everyone complained about not getting time on the card, and so everyone had to get time on the card. So,
and for me, it wasn't even a matter of all those people need to make their end. It was the fact, like, if this were, it was what, 7 total people?
Oh my god, there were so many fucking people. One, two,
an exorbitant amount.
8, including the Joker.
Okay, so if it would have been 8 regular people, 6 regular people, they still could have done something with this. As Akuma said, from a guy from Chikara, he said it only takes once. You know, you lose during you finish a match during commercial one time. Now there's the possibility that you finish them. Well, there was never that possibility here because there was a Joker. That Joker was not going to be wasted. We know the Joker always comes out last. I think, like, I am sincerely over the AEW casino concept.
Yeah.
And when we were reminded of, like, oh shit, it's like they're doing entrance for the ladder match. Like, if they had it so we knew all the participants, and then I think you, myself, Roman, and Tyler had talked about, well, what would be the strategy there? You could do weeks leading up to, well, do you want to be the first out? Because then you have a better chance, a longer time of winning. But then you run the risk of getting absolutely battered. And the longer it goes, the less chance you have. And the later you come out, the more fresh you are. Is the sweet spot right around 4? It's so, like, that could be more intriguing, but
they were just randomly slotted into the fucking match. And
in order to do that, you would have to have a match finish before, like, number 5 comes out or something at some point. But I do not want to watch enough of these matches for that to happen. I want this to be the last.
Yeah. I mean, they only started doing this casino fucking theme because the first Double or Nothing happened in Vegas.
Right.
It was themed around that to make it seem cool, and they just never let it go.
I'll say, then feel free to make this a Double or Nothing specific gimmick style thing. Like,
I got a less milk-looking jug so that it didn't. And it's very purple this time.
Oh my god, I forgot all about that. I can't believe it. Just the way the light hit it is so cloudy. Like, oh god, it's gross. Oh god, I can't believe, like, that's what we're more interested in talking about right now. So I'm sorry, keep going with the match.
Yeah.
Some people came out and did some stuff. What happened, man?
There were some convoluted spots. At one point, there was a ladder bridge that made no sense, and at one point set up a Claudio power spot that almost killed someone. That
and not like killed someone as in like, holy shit, what a spot, as in what the fuck is happening here? What is this supposed to be?
Yeah,
the ladders aren't cooperating. Gravity is not cooperating.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
A ladder almost buckled and collapsed and almost like came down on Claudio's head
with the other dude on top, which was scary.
Yeah, that would have killed multiple people. There was a spot you really didn't like, which was the Canadian Destroyer on the ramp, which did literally nothing to Dante Martin, because a couple minutes later he was up and jumping up on the fucking thing and diving everywhere. And
that's why I didn't like the spot. Like, I thought the actual spot was great. Those two run edge, oh my god, it was so clean. It was awesome. If it would have taken Dante Martin out of the rest of the match, which he was not needed for anyway.
Yeah.
If he would have got his shit in before that spot, I would have loved that spot. Like, for instance, later, I do love a Canadian Destroyer spot, which is him giving it to Andrade on
a ladder,
on the abridged ladder. But what I liked about it was they happened to be in that spot, in that position. He didn't set it up for that. Someone had set up the ladder previously into a ladder bridge. But again, why are we setting up a ladder bridge? I don't know.
Yeah. You were literally asked that at one point, and all I kept telling you was, because it would look cool, Mikey, or to hurt someone. Like, it's like, for the spot, Mikey.
I know a lot of right? It's storytelling via spot work. I know a lot of people do love these spectacles and train wrecks that can be ladder matches and stuff like that, but I'm not one of those guys. Like, I really enjoy the storytelling of a ladder match.
I just remembered one of those fucking moments. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
There was one of the moments. It was Andrade and Rush. It was right when one of those two came out. I don't remember who came out, but I think
Rush came out first, and then Andrade, right?
So Andrade came out. Whoever came out second, they came out. No one was in the ring. They were all outside, and they were dead. They were not doing anything. No one was like perched up. They were all fucking dead. And so they were both at the ladder. They did a thing. They did like a fist bump, and they set up the ladder bridge that Cesaro, Jesus, Claudio would later fucking chuck. But they took that time to set up the ladder bridge.
And not just one, multiple.
They set up multiple, then went out, beat someone up, then came back in, and then tried to climb the ladder. In that time, they could have just climbed this shit and won.
Right.
It took like 5 minutes to do that shit, and no one tried to stop them.
And I would be so annoyed if I was Andrade. Like, Rush is working for Andrade. Like, yes, they're tag team partners, but the storyline being that Andrade brought in his guys to protect him, to get him to the title. And so after they do this long ass drawn out, set up the bridges and then go up, Andrade starts climbing, and Rush initially was like looking around to make sure there was nobody going to come. It's like, oh, why didn't they just do this 5 minutes earlier? And then Rush started to climb on the other side, but not in an attempt to thwart Andrade. He just climbed for no fucking reason. No idea.
Yeah, and just stayed down there to protect him.
Because there was a spot coming up.
Yeah.
That's why.
He just did it because the spot was about to happen.
Yeah.
It made no fucking sense. It's like, at no point does anyone hear a spot and think, well, why would I do that?
Right.
Well, the spot's about to happen. It's going to lead to this. Well, why wouldn't I? Because if we're trying to fight, wouldn't I? Well, it's going to lead to this cool thing. Well, no, because I'm trying to not get hit by you. So what? Right. Well, no, because it's going to look cool. Well, a lot of shit looked cool already. I'm trying to fight you.
And yeah, seriously. Last year at All Out, there was a match going in that kind of had the same vibes from a lot of people as this one, and that being the cage match with the Young Bucks and Penta and Phoenix. And because it's both matches where people can put on absolute spectacles. And yeah, the people in the ladder match put on a spectacle. I don't even think it was that great. There was some fun stuff. But that match, that tag team title match, had story and heat going into it, and everything was logically thought out within the match. So the structure of the match, played a role into the overall psychology of the feud. This was just a thrown together nonsensical thing to get the Joker over.
Yep. And now we're at the end of the match when right before the Joker's about to be announced, the count hasn't even started. We get Retribution coming out.
I thought
the original version. Yeah, the original version before they have the dollar store Bane masks. It's just a bunch of goons coming out and beating people up. And they got the masks and the hoodies, and they're destroying everybody. All the people that we actually like and have been putting on a show, they're all fucked. And one of them climbs a ladder and takes the chip down. And he reveals himself to be Stokely Hathaway. What the fuck? Why? And then the count starts. And then a song I didn't recognize because I'm pop culture ignorant, unfortunately. I'm trying to get better about it, but you recognized it as...
Oh, yeah, immediately. Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and that would come in later. It would play in later for the reveal. But
I knew whoever it was had to be a big deal because you do not pay for the rights to a Rolling Stones song.
Yeah.
Or Enzo Amore.
Yeah, we spent a lot of the time when we were watching matches we didn't give a shit about being like, well, who could it be? Who could it be? And one of them was like, oh, wouldn't it suck if it was fucking Enzo? Because when Stokely revealed when Stokely revealed himself, all the goons revealed it was all the people that Stokely had been giving his card to, like W. Morrissey and the Ass Boys and whoever the fuck else. I literally don't remember anyone else, but there was a couple other people. And so the Joker comes out after the count does. The song plays, Sympathy for the Devil, and it comes out in a devil mask and some fucking dollar store hoodie. They come out swaggering. They get in the ring. They tease a fucking thing. And then they're like, nah. And they fucking leave. And everyone hates it because it sucks. Yeah. And then they go right in, and that's the end of the match. And no one got a point. No one got shit for that. No one got a point for that one.
Because we did not have masked unnamed Joker winning.
Yeah. Everyone predicted an ending.
You might be thinking, guys, why would you even think it was Cass? Oh, it was to protect ourselves? Or no, excuse me, Enzo. Why were you thinking it was Enzo? And it was to protect ourselves, right? Because if we came up and believed a shitty scenario, then maybe what they actually revealed won't be as bad as our Enzo scenario.
Yeah.
So
we didn't want it to be Enzo. Hell no.
No, we did not want it to be Enzo, but we were like, okay. So then we did start to think about, like, because I didn't enjoy the ladder match to begin with. against Stokely Hathaway coming out with all of his guys. Like, that's whatever. I didn't enjoy the finish. I didn't understand the use of Sympathy for the Devil. I didn't understand why you wouldn't unmask. I didn't quite understand anything that was happening. And so in the moment, I just did not like it whatsoever. But obviously, like, things develop if you watch what I imagine anybody who's watching this already knows what happens, but things do develop. But in the moment, it was such a, man, this, no one, like, it was one or two things needed to happen. They needed to put this match first so that we forgot it by the end of the night and a reveal could happen. Or two, they put it on in the beginning. That way so much good stuff happens over the course of the night. We forget about it. And then it's a Dynamite storyline.
Yeah.
But
we were really hoping it would like be revealed at some point.
But
in the
none
show.
of us were even entirely sure how the chip structure works.
Yeah.
Like, if it needed to be a sign, like both parties sit down, contract, date. Because our thought was, well, we know it's not a cash-in type of thing. Like, so you can't, like, in mid-match just cash it in. Like,
well, we weren't sure that it was that either. It could have been.
That's true. That's true.
Don't know.
We just assumed it was, and we didn't think it was because it was never alluded to, but it totally could have been.
Yeah.
So I thought, I was like, okay, well, if they were to, because it's for a match sometime in the future, if they were to present that chip before the main event, because then the main would be in the future and it wouldn't be happening. Could they make themselves a part of the match? We didn't know. We had no goddamn clue. So we were just like, okay, just don't be Enzo.
Yeah. Just, if you're gonna do some random shit, at least don't make us wait for some weird, confusing disappointment, whatever. Just rip the Band-Aid off, because this is confusing.
Exactly what I was going to say.
And it left a stench over the show that, fortunately, Febrezed away at the end.
Well, not even that. I think there were some matches coming up that made you forget that ladder match even existed.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited to get to those.
Yeah.
I think next, this may have been Jade and...
Oh, no, the next match was the trios. They went immediately to the returning hero. The Trios Tag Team Championship match. The Elite versus the Dark Order. Hangman Adam Page, Johnny Hungy, and
Alex Reynolds.
Alex Reynolds. Sorry.
Which Chicago threw out an Alex Reynolds chant to give.
They did. And I was like, there's a first time for everything.
Right. And hey, happily deserved. He ruled in this match.
He did. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. It's just the recognition is long overdue and it's never been given.
Listen, I think there are a lot of people who probably don't have a keen eye on all the happenings of the Dark Order, especially if they did, like, Evil Uno, 10 because of the mask. So, and then you knew the other guys who aren't around anymore. And there's always the long-haired guy where you're like, I don't even really remember his name. But and Alex Reynolds is completely competent, serviceable in the ring. He got going in this match itself, and he got an actual chant, and I was thrilled with it. But what did you think about the overall structure going into the match? 2, what did you think about the match? And 3, what did you think about the people coming away with the titles?
Well, I thought, first of all, I don't think there should be trios tag team championships. So there was an inherent kind of annoyance that this was happening in the first place. So it really needed to be.
And I believe a point was dependent on this, right? From Rampage.
Yeah, there was a bonus point that we all got. So it was kind of would have it kind of just evened out.
Yeah.
The match had to be fucking phenomenal in order to get me over that. Because when I'm annoyed about something, I need to have something to get over it. And the thing is, I am not one of these people that is a Kenny Omega stan, nor am I a Kenny Omega hater. He comes across to me like a wacky waving arm inflatable fucking tube man. Wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man. Yeah. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing fuck me. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. There we go. 7 times the charm. I think I'm undercutting myself there. There we go. Golf clap from the gallery. He's very floppity, and I don't like it. He's got happy feet. I don't like it. However, the fucker can go all week if you want him to. And to come back from 17 surgeries or whatever the hell and just go right into a fucking tournament. With one of the best teams and workers from New Japan and with Ospreay and Aussie Open, and then into this with Hangman and Dark Order, and I just don't dig douchebag as a character, which is Young Bucks and Kenny when they get together. That just sort of is their MO when you mix them up.
Which I'm okay with as heels, but if they're trying to be babies, but I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know.
I never can tell unless they're being overtly heelish.
Right.
They're crowd favorites, but they're also being douchebags. I can't fucking tell. So like, what the fuck is the point? What are they doing? Why are they doing this? And yes, there were story beats. There was the callback to the nodding of the head moment. That wasn't the finish. There were a lot of moments that were not the finish. There were so many. John Silver, Johnny Hungy getting a really close near fall.
Yeah, two of the loudest pops for falsies were John Silver on
Kenny Omega,
and it was so cool.
It was so incredible. Honest to God, if John Silver had gotten the fucking pin on Kenny Omega, I would not have been mad. I would not have been mad. I would have been so happy for him.
And that place would have been as close to exploding as you could possibly get, unless they did one other thing.
I know exactly the rest what you're of this talking night. About. Yeah.
So we'll get to that. This would have been it because we were ready for it.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, and I'm annoyed by it because it was very predictable, and some predictable things aren't always bad, but this was because what the fuck was the point then? You just gave the EVPs another trinket. Who gives a shit now? Who beats them? Who what the fuck? What's the story now?
I think the biggest benefit is it keeps the Bucks away. It keeps now they're tangled up together in one title, opposed to 2 other titles, and wondering what's going on. Because you would wonder if it weren't for this, you would wonder how Omega is going to come back and not immediately be inserted into the world title picture. There's was it on purpose or how can you fuck that up kind of thing with Hangman and the Dark Order. I don't hate the Elite winning here. It didn't bother me anyway, just because I know how perfectly capable they are over the past 15 years of telling stories. And so, and they're also not like, I mean, the rumor mill of so-and-so didn't want to put over so-and-so, they nixed the match, this, that, and the other. I don't care. The Bucks and Omega always put on very good matches, largely intriguing storylines. I think they're going to do way more with the trios titles than the Dark Order would. But man, this elevates Reynolds and Silver significantly, which is what I think that the trios titles is going to do. Like, attempt to do. I don't think it's going to get done, but I think they're going to attempt to do, because then I think they're going to end up kind of hijacking the titles altogether, and it no longer be about the trios titles as much as it is just about the elite again. I don't know. I was good either way, with no matter who won. We do recognize that there's an ungodly amount of trios matches on Wednesdays, Fridays, Tuesdays, Mondays, and on their paper.
None of them have rules. A lot of them follow the same format. Ugh.
Yeah, and now they have a title, and it's just, I'm not interested at all in these titles.
And almost all of them are single stars mixed together.
Yeah. House of Black is the only one where I'm like, how are they not the champions?
Yeah. And the rumor is they're going to get split up because Malachi wants out. So, like,
yeah.
What is the other trio? Are there any? There's no other trio that seems coherently a trio.
No, there's none that immediately come to mind that I'm like, it's a tag team and a guy.
Yeah.
Or just some guys.
Yeah, there was no reason to have this fucking trio other than the elite want their own fucking titles. They just want the elite champion. It's the fucking Legends title from Impact all over again. They just want their own fucking title.
Yeah, I thought the titles were completely unnecessary. The crowd was hot for Hangman and Omega.
Yeah.
However, they did it so early on in the match.
Yeah.
The face off. That I think the later reaction suffered because of it, but
yeah, they didn't milk it at all.
No, not at all. But what were the points on that match?
Everyone got the bonus point. Bree and Liz got the second point. My notes on it were good. Fuck Matt Buck. There were callbacks.
Matt Buck.
Yeah, fuck Matt Buck.
I love it.
I think Nick Jackson is the more talented of the Young Bucks, though I care not much at all for the Young Bucks in general. But Matt, I don't like him. I don't like his face. I don't.
I think Nick is more gifted in ring. I think Matt is exponentially more gifted character wise, and I love the Young Bucks. So
fair enough. we can disagree on shit, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't happen much on this show, but we also haven't done much other than interviews so far. But
right.
It'll happen eventually.
And we usually agree they're not that good and we're the stars. So
oh god.
So now this I remember it being because this following match where the position where it was, because as we were walking and we were going to grab something to eat, and Tyler we went and used the washroom, and then the bell rang, and we were like, didn't it just start? And he goes, tell me it's a cooldown match without telling me it's a cooldown match. Like, yeah, for real.
Yeah, that would be Jade Cargill and Athena, I believe you're referring to.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate state of the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill came out in She-Hulk attire. Phenomenal. I don't know if she was painted or if she had leggings or something. It looked like either way it was fading. But she looked fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Athena looked really cool too, but you can't fucking top a She-Hulk fucking attire and entrance accompanying. It was just fucking really cool. And I mean, who else can pull that off? Don't say China.
I thought Athena got a good pop though.
Oh, she did. I mean, she really did. I mean, you're the first person I've really ever heard say anything negative about Athena. That's why when you can look back on that episode, when you start going off on, I'm like, oh, geez, what the fuck?
And that's Tyler was the same way. Tyler was like, oh, I've always liked Athena, and I was like, yeah, I get it. Like, fine. I think a lot more than anything, for a lot of us, it's probably personal than it is.
Oh yeah, personal opinions are thus personal.
Exactly.
But that doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it subjective. Fair enough.
And it's just like I'm uninterested, and I wanted to. Like I came into this match thinking, okay, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen, because as I said earlier, there wasn't a match on this show that I was like, okay, that's a good match to get up and leave. I did want to watch this match, and I was ready to be impressed, be excited about what was going on. And man, I didn't get to see any of it. I just caught a glimpse on the camera on the monitors, of the She-Hulk attire, and then a bell rings and it was over. So how was it?
You just described it. I mean, there were a couple of moments where it looked like Athena might actually pull it off. There was Jericho might get mad at me. You almost used the word botch, but
yeah,
Jade. Okay, I mentioned this to you before we started recording. There have been a couple of times where Jade has messed up a kick out, a close kick out at right before 2.5. If you have a streak, you cannot fuck up on a close kick out.
Yeah. Right.
And she has done this a lot. And there was one during this match, and but no, this match went really short, and the video package before this was it was okay. It was good, but it was pretty shouty, just back and forth shouty. All in all, I think I didn't buy that it was going to happen. I don't think anyone bought that it would have happened. I think the only way that anyone would have bought that it could have happened if it had been built longer, but no, people like Athena, at least the crowd did like Athena, but no one really believed it was going to happen. So it just sort of, couple of good spots, but that was it.
For those of you who didn't see it and only watched it, I think we may have gone longer than the match, or did. Yeah. We might have been talking about longer than the match went on.
Yeah. My note is quick. Jade has improved, cool outfits, and then competent. Yeah.
That's and everyone got a point for that, I believe.
No. Bree voted for Athena, so she did not get a point for that. But everyone else did. So moving on, past that point, match order, I have no fucking clue. So we'll go back to what I wrote down here. We've got FT Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. I know this didn't happen afterwards, but
I think it did.
Oh, maybe it did. That would be really just.
It did, because I wasn't there to watch any of the entrances or anything. I was only there for the last bit of the match, because we were still stuck in line. Like, we were trying to line hop. We were like, okay, this is clearly more crowded over here. We'll go over here, and then next thing you know, it's like, all right, we'll stay in a fucking line, because everywhere we go, it gets longer. And so finally, we just got into a line. I can only talk about maybe two things in this match that I enjoyed. Well, excuse me, not that I enjoyed, that I can even attest to, because I didn't get to see the bulk of it.
I love FTR's entrance, Tron. Freaking love it. They're leaning so hard into the 80s.
Yes, thing. The neon.
It's so cool. And they had, I believe it's Dax's kid came out.
Yes.
for the entrance, and then after the match had a thing, and that was just so the crowd loved it. They just they had a huge pop for Wardlow and a huge pop for her.
Oh yeah, the Wardlow pop was mega. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, just fucking phenomenal. And not as huge a pop for Motor City Machine Guns. Like they got a pop, but like not as big a one.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd recognized them, but I don't know. It was emotionless technical brilliance. Because the thing is, right, it was hard to ignore the reports going into this that it was supposed to be Bucks FTR and then Wardlow and Jade Lethal. And mind you, these are reports. It was not the official company line, and there was some denials here and there. But the thing is that those matches make way more sense. They are more desirable, and they would have made a lot more emotional stakes for the crowd, because Motor City Machine Guns have not been on TV, but like the one appearance right before the show. And so when you go into this match, you don't really give a shit. And everyone in this match can work. Everyone in this match worked really well together. And they did have a story going into it. You had the Wardlow hot tag. You had all the matches going together. You had everything going really well into it. But the only thing that really sucked the fucking life out of this whole entire thing was that you didn't give a shit. None of the titles that was being held in this whole thing mattered at all. None of them were being defended. And because of that, one of the teams was from out of the company. You knew who was going to win. So why the fuck would anyone give a goddamn? So going into the finish, now that Mikey's here, you knew who was going to fucking win. You knew who was going to win. You knew what was going to fucking happen. And that's basically it. Like I said, it was emotionless technical brilliance. Everyone could work. They did work. It was great to watch. It was pretty, but fucking useless.
Yeah, and I know, like, I would really like to see an FTR Machine Guns tag, certainly at some point.
I'd like to see a feud that had substance.
You know, I don't know that. Like, again, I love the Guns. I think it would be more apropos for them to do a spot show on a Ring of Honor with FTR. I don't know that I need the Guns in AEW taking up storyline time from other very good tag teams that should be getting spots.
True, yeah.
And again, I love the Guns, but they're doing great in Impact. I think a nice little Ring of Honor spot with FTR would be cool. My two takeaways from this match were Wardlow's powerbomb. He used to do it more like a jackknife powerbomb, which is money. So much better. He would still have a lower release point, but still nice. And then he started trying to turn it into more of a tsunami bomb, which is a Japanese like stick bomb, to where you're like planting them through the canvas. And now it almost looks like he's trying to do a variation of the two, of where he's doing the jackknife motion, that minor hesitation, and then like instead of snapping them down, bringing them out and down. And then halfway down, he tries to snap it. And I just don't like the powerbomb at all. I don't think it looks good. One bit.
Damn.
I actually love that his finish isn't necessarily just hit one powerbomb. I love that his finish is, I'm going to hit you with a bunch of fucking powerbombs. Good night.
The powerbomb symphony.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Especially when he starts like hearing, like, you want me to do it more?
Dude, I think that's.
And this is one of the most brilliant fucking moves in wrestling. And that's why it's one of the oldest moves in wrestling.
It's made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Don't know how Hulk Hogan doesn't have carpal tunnel from doing this shit.
Had to get wrist surgery because. My other takeaway is I love the ending spot of the whole segment with Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah.
After Sanjay Dutt was given out to Dax about him fighting like an 8-year-old girl, I thought this spot was a blast. And it's because we get the return of a big name, right?
Yes.
Samoa Joe
Jesus! I completely forgot about. Why
straight up. So did I until I started replaying it in my head, and I was like, "Oh shit, Samoa Joe!" So 30 seconds prior to me saying it, I completely forgot to.
I totally did not remember that Samoa Joe came back. Cut and all. Yeah. Holy Christ! Samoa Joe is back.
Yeah,
and did fuck all.
Yeah, I didn't do anything, but it was a great spot that got Dax's daughter involved and grabbed Sanjay's pencil and broke that pencil, and the crowd was so hot for it.
Yeah. And got a pin.
I was gonna say what did Sanjay take that got the pin? I don't even remember. Was it the Shatter? It wasn't the Shatter Machine. I don't know if it was a Wardlow powerbomb. Did Joe do something? I don't remember. I just remember we got a bonus match, and it was better than the AAA.
Well, it wasn't a match because there wasn't a ring before, and it was a mock pin. But still,
I'm taking the piss.
I know.
It was fun though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a heartwarming endeavor, and everyone got a point for this. Well, here's something that'll pick you up a little bit. Toni Storm.
Oh. I didn't realize that. Which, yes.
Just Toni Storm.
I was getting ready to scissor, sorry. I thought.
No, we're not there yet. Sorry. But also, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida.
Yeah. I would like to say.
Yes.
All of the girls looked like $1,000,000. I think they all got brand new gear. Jamie had her hair braided.
Crowd loved Jamie. Crowd was all behind Jamie.
Yeah. But all the women that came into this match looked like superstars. Like, for me, it still didn't have that aura of this is a big time match because it wasn't a big time match.
No. It was the person who was supposed to win plus 3 other people.
Right. But the women came into this match looking like it's a big time match, and they made you feel like it could be. It just never got there for me.
Yeah. It was an unfortunate circumstance where, because the feud going into it was so obviously going to end a certain way, that because now it was an interim title, and everyone that was put into it was, why were they there?
Yeah.
Because the women are given so little fucking time, it's not like you could have, competing for the fucking spots. Sure, right. You get 2 people that you can kind of justify being put in there. Former women's champions, Dr. Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida. Jamie Hayter, you could have a storyline about her competing for her shot. That could make sense.
I think we did enough giving out on the predictions about how this match is set up. Let's focus on the match itself and coming out of it, because I think this match actually looks good by comparison of where things are going. Going into it, it's nothing, but coming out of it, I think we have something, and it's because of the teases and the finish, right?
Sure. Where are you going with this?
Oh, do you not there?
Just say it, man.
That Jamie clearly had the title won, and Britt fucked her out of it entirely. And so we have the Jamie and Britt feud without Britt having the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we know we're still going to get the Tony and Rosa feud, but Tony is very, very good, but I'm just not interested in that. The only downside I had about this match for me, and again, they worked well. There wasn't anything where I thought was like, ugh, this is ugly. That didn't go. I don't remember a single thing Sheeta did the entire match.
Yeah. Well, I remember one thing where she was injured. She had to be carted out, and then she came back in.
Oh, that's right.
She came back in with two kendo sticks, and then she was beating people who they'd get hit, they'd go away, and then they'd walk back over, like, okay, it's time to hit me again. And then they'd go, oh, okay. And then after she was done, she just threw the sticks out of the ring. Like, why? Keep the sticks! That was going really well for you. No one took them away. She just threw them away out of the ring. No one brought them back. They were just staying there the whole time. I think it's like a ring hand just grabbed them and took them away. Like,
and you think about someone like having to go out and then come back. You think it's going to be this big monumentous return. Here we go, and it was just. Okay, she's a back part of the match, and that's over.
And that's it. It's the only thing I remember. And then she wasn't even a part of the ending sequence.
Yeah. I mean, the women's division the booking has plenty of problems, and they need to do something about it going forward, certainly.
Yeah.
But this match, it wasn't going to matter how good it was. There was no, like you said before, if there's not a reason for me to care, then why should I care? And I didn't care.
Did you hear Tony Khan's comments about why Thunder Rosa got a 1 minute backstage promo about her injury, but CM Punk got an 8 minute in ring promo about his injury?
No.
He straight up said, in terms of what I think will get TV ratings, I thought it would be better for Thunder Rosa to get 1 minute backstage, but CM Punk should get 8 minutes in ring.
Now,
that's what he said. That he said the quiet part out loud.
Now listen. I'm
not mincing words here.
I'm not saying now listen as in you, but like they're not comparable. Like CM Punk's world title reign and Thunder Rosa, like they're not comparable. Punk gets more time, no question.
Yeah.
But no, Rosa needs to be in the ring giving a heartfelt promo. Did you hear Tony Storm's comments about at the media scrum? The way she phrased it, it was very much just like, yeah, she says she's hurt, like it is what it is kind of thing. And I just like the verbiage of if she says she's hurt rather than if she is hurt.
Oh.
And Tony Storm said, and then when she's all cleared up, she can come back and I'm going to beat her then too. So it's just like she's just prolonging the inevitable by faking this injury kind of thing. And it was very like, well, this doesn't necessarily have to be a shoot style thing. Again, we're blurring the lines. It could very easily be add some heat to this that wasn't there at all.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I didn't give a shit about the Thunderstorm breakup.
No, that lasted as long as it could to get over the fact that someone thought that was a cool name, and then
Tony, you gotta.
Yeah, you had to know someone was gonna be like, oh, so you literally just said that you thought a women's promo was 1/8 the value to your TV program. As a men's promo. That's because no one is as popular in your ratings as CM Punk. Literally, Kenny Omega matches as the main event lost 200,000 viewers in your ratings compared to the CM Punk matches. That's a fact that happened multiple times. That's not just a fluke. But so you can't. It's not literally 1-to-1 man to woman. It's CM Punk to Thunder Rosa, but backstage 1 minute versus in-ring 8 minutes. And to that point, Tony, there's a reason why it won't really garner ratings, and that's because you haven't treated it
as something that should be watched.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's not. So don't put that on Rosa. That's
exactly.
You guys.
And I swear to God, if the show that comes out is all elite women, you got Dynamite, Rampage, women. How fucking patronizing is that name?
Yeah, that's pretty bollocks.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, we're at an hour and a half. We need to fucking speed through some of these.
We got to get better at that. But when it comes to wrestling, like, we can just talk. That's why it's so much easier just to ask like an interviewee questions, and then when you see them running out of steam, we'll add stuff and then we'll ask another question.
Yeah.
Because we can literally just ramble for fucking ever.
Oh yeah, and in all fairness to us, this is a 17-hour card.
Yeah, touche.
The next match, Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. What I picked would be the match of the night, but what I also picked to be the disappointing finish of the fucking night. Not literally, but not what I picked the disappointing finish, but what I picked as a disappointing finish. And I was right. I got the point on this because I went against everyone else and said would be WCW Hogan all over again. Chris Jericho wins LOL. A kick to the nuts behind the back of the fucking ref and a Judas effect. And that was it. After a pretty good technical match. I wrote down technical goodness. Jericho just ain't better. He isn't. Yeah. He's not as good as Bryanson.
And technically speaking, I really was enjoying the match. I don't think it ever really got out of second gear, however. No. So like while the technical wrestling was there, there was nothing grabbing me. There was nothing saying like, oh my God, okay, here we go. And we didn't want Garcia to have anything to do with the finish or anything. We didn't want him any part of this match.
Yeah. Fuck him.
And now, in all technicalities, no, he was not part of the match. Yeah. However, going into the match, Garcia mentioned the respect would only be given to Jericho if he can beat Bryan without cheating. And so then Jericho cheated, and that just prolongs the fucking storyline with Daniel Garcia. And so, no.
Yeah, so this meant nothing. Literally, there was a promo later in the night where Jericho approached Garcia and he was like, so I beat him. And Garcia was like, well, no, you cheated. And so it was bad. And I am a robot. And then Jericho was like, well, I don't like that answer. I like your convictions, but that's not good. So you're going to have to fight someone. No, he said he was going to have to
Wheeler
fight
Yuta, maybe?
Yeah, it's the Wheeler Yuta match for the Pure title, and he can't have the help of the Jericho Appreciation Society. And if he loses, he's out of the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Who gives any fucks about
I don't give a goddamn about the Jericho Appreciation Society.
No.
I don't give a goddamn about Daniel Garcia. I don't give a goddamn about Chris Jericho. I don't even care about Wheeler Yuta. I'm starting to not give a fuck about Ring of Honor at this point. They're just a fucking, at this point, give them a TV show or get the fuck off of AEW. What the fuck are they? They're a fucking a leech on the fucking product taking up TV time. This is...
I would really like if... Which, I mean, it can't happen now based on who the guys are. But I would have really liked if Tony was trying to continue the Ring of Honor thing, but not without using them on AEW. And then we almost get an invasion type thing to where ROH is going to take Tony, if you're not going to get us a show, we're going to take a show. So then Ring of Honor tries to take Rampage or something like that. Something along those lines. And then anything to make me care about Ring of Honor as a company, because them just carrying Ring of Honor titles means nothing to me. And Wheeler Yuta had such, as have a lot of people in AEW, had such momentum for it to just be completely peter out and be okay, cool.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, is that his momentum to me always reeked of someone backstage likes him, and I don't know why.
I like Wheeler Yuta a lot.
He's technically sound, but fuck me, I don't get it. He's charismatically mute.
Yeah, I think he's shown glimpses, but he's a very funny guy. But on camera, he's also with a group of guys to where they've come into their own over years and years and years and years. Outside of like Bryan Danielson and Claudio were not charismatic individuals initially. They were not full of enthusiasm and pep, but they were really, really, really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I mean, including Regal, like in WCW, yeah. But Regal was not that prior to. He worked on it, and I don't know how long Wheeler's been around. But I mean that will come. But they're not giving us a reason to care.
Yeah, they need time on their own, developing their craft and developing an identity outside of being attached to people who are already identifiable. Now, they need to be working with these veterans behind the scenes. Yes, they need to be taking their advice. They need to be under their wing. They need to be able to learn from them in the locker room, definitely. But they don't need to be on screen as a +1. Because
that's exactly what it is.
Just being in a group with people who are known is not an identity. Right. Being a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society is not an identity. Being the guy who squirmed through the cage did not help us know who the fuck Angelo Parker was. But you know what did help? We know who Hook was as soon as he started beating people's ass outside of Team Taz. When he was in Team Taz, I didn't know who the fuck that guy in a hoodie in the back was. I didn't know who he was.
That's a great comparison.
People said he was Taz's son, but I had no fucking clue. But as soon as CM Punk said send Hook and he started doing his own shit outside of Team Taz, all of a sudden, everyone loves Hook. He's doing his own shit. He has a popular tag team with Danhausen. He starts having singles matches, tag matches, pay-per-view matches. All of a sudden, who the fuck remembers him being in Team Taz?
Right.
There you go. He's got it, and he's still developing. His promos need a little work. He's not done a lot of stuff. He's still in his first run. That's fine. That's all he needs to do right now.
But him just walking to the ring exudes more charisma and enthusiasm than Wheeler Yuta has at all right now.
Yeah. And that's not saying that Wheeler Yuta ain't a phenomenal technical wrestler. That isn't saying that he couldn't be a future main eventer. But he isn't interesting. He isn't captivating. And just putting him next to a former world champion, a slew of former world champions, and a slew of Hall of Famers doesn't make him that. It makes him seem less than in comparison. It's a disservice to a guy who could be doing more in Ring of Honor by himself.
Yeah. By the way, get Bryan Danielson away from Chris Jericho as far as possible, as soon as possible.
Get him the fuck out of there. I wish I could cut that memory out of my head with a pair of scissors. Speaking of scissors, perfect
Brutus
transition.
the Barber Beefcake.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake made an appearance in the next match where he buried the talent using the weakest elbow drop in the fucking world.
Oh my god.
Scissor me, daddy!
Yeah.
Oh, scissor me, daddy! Oh, scissor me, daddy!
The most inappropriate use of that voice ever. And it
might not give you enough attention.
I 100% heard that. Yeah.
That chant got over very well.
Set this next match up because, god damn it, I love this thing.
The AEW Tag Team Champions Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. Yo, listen. Accompanied by Daddy Ass, Billy Gunn. And the crowd really love the Acclaimed. And they really like the fact that they're accompanied by Billy Gunn.
Holy shit, man.
There were so many variations on the daddy ass chants in the crowd.
One I would like to point out that I think might be underappreciated, but I loved, which is Swerve's whose house? Swerve's house. The crowd yelling, whose ass? Daddy's ass. It was so wildly inappropriate. But the "Oh Scissor Me Daddy" chant, oh my god, I almost lost it. It was one of the coolest fucking things I've ever been a part of.
It was. I tried to keep my Gilbert under control during this.
It was so funny though. Again, there could not be a more inappropriate time for that voice to be out. And it was so funny. So fucking funny.
Oh, God.
Guys, I wish I could give you a sincere play-by-play of everything that happened in this match. But it's all such a blur to me.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say I wasn't up and down. That's not true. I was up, slightly lower, and then up, and then slightly lower, and then up. I turned Spinal Tap guy. I turned it up to 11 the whole time.
This crowd turned Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland heel, motherfucker. They did not want the champs to retain. Every time the champs were on top, they hated that.
And keep in mind, these are two babyface teams. So Keith Lee tries to do the babyface thing and give a little hand slap to Anthony Bowens, does go for the scissor, and Anthony Bowens does not scissor Keith Lee. And then there started a "you can't scissor." And then Billy Gunn got up on the apron, Max Cash got up on the other side, and they did a triple scissor, and the crowd fucking exploded.
Yeah, man.
Going into the predictions, I had said that Keith Lee and Swerve needed to win this. And I was completely wrong. As I was kind of bantering during the show, I've been a part of matches where someone else is clearly more over than the intended winner. So news gets to us in the ring that someone else is going over on someone else. And then we'll figure out the finish. We'll get you there. Even if it's just for the pop for the night, we will get you there. And then we'll retcon it later if we have to. And I alluded to that there was a falsie in the trios match where the building was as close to exploding as possible, barring one thing. If the Acclaim would have won the titles on Sunday night, it would have been the loudest pop of the night.
Oh yeah,
no question. I think there were even still some chants and pops within the match itself that were louder than anything CM Punk got, and in turn the rest of the night. But if they would have won, it would have been one of those unforgettable crowd reactions that would be played on countdowns years from now. It was that electric, guys. It was insane.
Faux show. It was fucking incredible. And like I said that the crowd turned them heel. It didn't happen immediately. There was a going in the beginning where they were like playing back and forth, and Keith Lee would have like oh, I appreciate that. And then the crowd appreciated that. But it was really when Swerve got in, when that shit got knocked off. And it plays into this idea that there was some dissension between Swerve and Keith Lee. And there were a couple times when Swerve and Keith kind of fucking hit each other accidentally, whatever. And so they really played in that, as I said in the thing, Acclaimed were working together, and they were working, man. Like, they were so good. They were so fucking good. They were hitting and going and really fucking on fire. And Keith and Swerve really seemed like they were knocking back and forth and not working well together. But finally, after so many good near falls, there was so many good near falls in this fucking match. I swear to God, there was one where it was like 2.9 seconds.
Oh my God, you could hear I can't believe I'm going to say this. You could hear the pre-cum. I can't believe I said that. But we were waiting for the real thing. But man, we were there.
You could feel the secretion. The puckering was immense.
And as you said about how good it was, because I very candidly said when we were sitting down about like, guys, they're talented, but can you name a single Acclaim match like that you were like, oh yeah, I would. That's one I could point to and go, man, that was a great match by the Acclaimed. And none of us could. And I'll be fucking damned if we can't point to an Acclaimed match now. They worked their asses off, both in the ring with the crowd. It was one of the, if not the highlight of the weekend for me. It was just missing that. It was missing the finish.
Yeah, it should have been them. It should have been them 100%. And at the end, when they tried to have this thing where Keith Lee was like, it's respect. The crowd was not into it. They're like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. And Swerve didn't do it. And she's like, no, the crowd was just like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. The Acclaim should have won. That was the moment. And now they'll never get it back. They'll never get it back.
And I had also talked about before on the predictions that there's no reason to believe they can't continue to get more over. But being in the building that night with a city like Chicago, a Chicago crowd, that was the moment. They're never going to get it back. And I think if they make the most out of it in the future, it's still not going to be as good as the moment would have been.
Yeah, that was it. And now, I don't know where they go from here. No. If they eventually do a split with Billy Gunn, and I don't know, but
yeah, I would like to say though, like this wasn't one of those matches where the ending was so deflating that it took away from the whole match for me.
No. I would still rewatch this match again. As soon as AEW has a streaming service, I'm watching this fucking match.
It was an unfavorable finish, but the match itself again, and my mom did order it and she recorded it. So I'm over the next week, 2-3 weeks, I'm going to try and, cause that's the only match I want to watch, and see how the crowd came across. If we came as loud as it was to us.
If you can hear Mike Gilbert amongst the crowd.
Oh, dude, I would fucking lose my mind if you just hear in unison, but then you hear like an off crack and like, what the fuck is that? Is that the voice from Aladdin? You guys hear that?
I wanted to watch the Impact taping so bad to see if you could hear. But I could not get the Access Roku app does not have live TV, so I couldn't.
I didn't know that this was a staple of yours, and this was something that you could even do. And so I was not able to appreciate it at Impact. I just remember hearing it while I was talking with Joey, and then finally I was like, what are you doing? What is happening over there? And why is it so grating? And then, it's a Gilbert Gottfried impression. That makes sense. Yeah. And now I'm full steam ahead on this fucking thing. I love it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad, because when you said you hated every moment of it, I was like, oh, Jesus. Oh.
I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, something is screw driving into my brain, and I don't know what it is. But what are you doing over there? And it makes complete sense now. And man, if we could have had a title win with the soundtrack being in Gilbert Gottfried chanting along.
Hey, if you ever run a show and you want Gilbert Gottfried to be one of the commentators.
It's seriously that. I mean, it would have been I've been to a lot of wrestling, live wrestling. I was at Chicago when CM Punk won at Money in the Bank against John Cena.
What? You were there?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was there.
Were you going to riot? Were you going to riot if he lost?
I was not, but man, I was ready to be real sad. I was at Chris Jericho's debut in WWE. I was at Brett vs. Owen in '94 in the cage.
Damn.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of cool things and a lot of great moments in live wrestling. And this would have been right at the top, man. Right at the top.
Damn. That is a huge fucking thing to say, man.
I loved it. And again, because keep in mind, we talk so much about how much it takes to get me out of my seat and invested. Because one, I've been wrestling for so long. Two, I've grown to know so many of the people. Debating. I'll tell the story. Okay. I'm going to tell the story. So last year, this was for winter. Dave Hero in Wisconsin runs a show. Well, people may know Cal Hero. He's a OVW wrestler. Been making waves. He's in AEW as well, but he runs Great Lakes Championship Wrestling, and he only runs 4 or 5 shows a year. I think it's grown, but for a while it was just that, and they're big. So like on this one, he had Billy Gunn was on it, Braun Strowman was on it, EC3 was on it, Gail Kim was on it, Rebel was on it, Serena Deeb was on it. Who else? I want to say Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis were there. They're like it was a fairly stacked show for the December show, and at the after party, it's me, my friend Jenny, Jordan Cross, because he had wrestled on the show, and Jordan, bless his little heart, he came over to say hi because he wanted to meet Serena so bad, because me and Serena sit next to each other, obviously. And then it was ODB, Gail Kim, some gal I wasn't terribly familiar with, and then just an adorable, sweet old lady who I didn't know who either of them were. Me and Jenny were like, who are these? Like, we know who all, like, clearly it's mom of somebody or wife of somebody. Like, we didn't know. They were very kind, very sweet. The old lady in particular, like, gave us candy, because at this event, like, it's VIP only type of thing, was this, like, invite only, and so it came with Hero's amazing at setting up these parties. It was extravagant candies and bottles of hand lotion, like with peppermint sprinkles. It was really cool, and she hooked us up with some stuff. Bless his heart, Jordan is still Jordan's still a young lad,
Mm-hmm.
and is likes gals. So he wanted to come over and be around a bunch of pretty women. It's just like, oh, like, did you get to meet her? Like, okay, that's cute. So then he gets around me, which, immediately devolves into just us being us. So he's no longer on his best behavior.
Uh-oh.
Which, as you know, I don't have a best behavior. So, right. As we've learned from every catering section I've ever been into, I don't have a best behavior. But he was telling me about this guy who, like, he pays independent wrestlers to come over and wrestle for him. Not like wrestle him, but wrestle for him in like their gear and stuff. And it's very sexualized for the guy. For the actual independent wrestler, it's not. It's really just like you're being sexualized and you know it, but it's like the amount of money you get from it. And he allows you to use, he has I want to say it was a place in Puerto Rico, and it's a lavish place. Because Jordan's friend was one of the guys who did some wrestling at this guy's house for his own amusement. And so for wrestling, and it'll be like 2, maybe 3 guys, for wrestling for this guy in his house, he'll throw you some money and then give you access to like his multiple other houses. So it's not an arrangement that, anyone really wants to be a part of. And Jordan said, absolutely, like I would drench myself in lemon scented baby oil and wrestle in this man's living room if it means I could go to there, talking about the lavish houses. And I said, like, I would wear this old man's ass as a hockey mask and play his dick like a trumpet if it means I could get a spot at that house. Obviously, I'm saying this in jest, but I'm going to one-up Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, one of the women at the table was utterly disgusted by this and could not believe it happened. She got up, walked away, was not happy, came back. But the older lady could not stop laughing.
Nice.
I then learned I just said out loud that I would eat this old man's ass and jerk him off like there wasn't a tomorrow for some money in front of Billy Gunn's mom. It was Billy Gunn's wife and mom.
Grandma ass!
And I could not believe at a Christmas party this was what I was doing with my life at 35 years old. I like, what the fuck am I doing? But to her credit, she laughed. She was wonderful the rest of the night. And just so we know, I did not know this. I did not know it was Billy Gunn's mom until I'm going to say goodbye to her. She was going to get up and I'm like, no, stay seated, honey. Stay seated. And I just thought it was this wonderful old woman all night. I go down and give her a big old hug. Like, hope to talk to you soon. Hope she's like, you know who I am, right? And I was like, I don't, like, at this point, I'm like, oh no. Like, in my mind, so I was like, I don't think I'm entirely sure. She's like, I'm Billy Gunn's mom. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. You are a saint to have dealt with me this long at Christmas time. Like, and she was completely cool about everything. Just an unbelievable woman. So the whole ass family, really. And I think
Granny ass.
Granny ass. I almost said the scissor thing. I can't say that about his mom. But even I think his wife was just upset and disgusted that I would say that in front of his mom. But when her disgust went completely away later when she realized, like, oh, she didn't really care. And she was also mega sweet. Billy's wife was. So Sorry for
You
that
offended mommy ass.
Yes, so sorry for that complete derailment.
It's all right.
But
and you didn't scissor granny ass?
I know. But like I said, it just reminds me of how much I know all these people.
That's awesome, man.
I mean, I'm working October 8th, the Ryan Cross show. We're working a show with Max Caster. And it's just like over 15 years, you get to know so many of these people on a personal level and things like that. So when you do see like things going on out there, it's like, oh, this is fun and I'm happy for them. But you don't have the fan emotion. You have appreciation, excitement, but you don't have the jubilation as a fan. And like, I felt it on that night. And if they would have pulled the trigger, it would have been out of this world.
Oh yeah,
man! I really went off the rails there with this whole segment. So
the
Acclaim should have won, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was a really fun story. I'm glad you told it. And yes, I totally agree. Not only should the Acclaimed have won, but you should have scissored granny ass.
Oh fuck! I mean, what the secondhand embarrassment most people like from just knowing that I was a part of that. So I'm going to try and be more calm this coming up Christmas, because I never know whose stocking I could really ruin. So
yeah. The fucking points on that one. Everyone got a point except for me. I was the one with hope.
Well, and because you were right.
Yeah.
Going into this, you were going into this, you were very specific about Keith Lee and Swerve as a team. And like, what did you identify them as a team?
Yeah. I identified them as two single stars versus the Acclaimed as being a tag team. I was right. Tony was wrong.
Right.
That's the most arrogant fucking thing an internet wrestling commentator could fucking say. I was also going to say, I could fucking imagine the kind of shit I would fucking accidentally say in front of people if I was wound up at one of those Christmas parties. So I also kind of, it's like, I hope this podcast goes well, but I also kind of don't, because if I ever wind up doing well enough that I get a gig
right
off of this podcast where I wind up going to one of those things, oh God, my social anxiety is I'm going to say some stupid shit and it's going to be embarrassing.
I feel ya.
The next match was what Liz picked for the match of the night. Unfortunately for Liz and for the crowd involved, it wasn't even a fucking match. Technically it was, but it was more of a fucking angle. It was barely anything, and reports showed that Christian actually had a shoulder injury, so unfortunately it could have been a match, but it really wasn't. It's Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. This was just an angle. Christian came out first, and he's doing all his posturing and whatever. Jungle Boy starts coming out, crowd's going crazy, they're doing the wave, and he's saying hi to the crowd, and Luchasaurus comes out and fucking choke slams him off the fucking stage. That's it. That's all they're going for. And he carries his fucking carcass to the ring. Christian gives him a fucking spear. Weird thing to do if he's got a shoulder injury, but that's the reason why the match was so short, apparently. And so he does that, tries to pin him, kicks out. Holy shit, he's gonna... No, then he gives him the kill switch and it's over. So it was just a fucking angle because allegedly Christian's got a fucking shoulder injury, and so that's all it was. It was a fucking angle. Should have been on Dynamite, but they built it up for a fucking match, and it's probably going to happen later down the road.
I really liked the finish because you think like, okay, he'll take the spear and that's it. And then upon the kick out, you think like, okay, now the match is going to start. It's going to kick into gear. Jungle Boy's going to overcome. And then it's just, done.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a match that by no means needed to be on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, if plans had gone according to plan, then maybe it would have actually done something, but you can't anticipate every injury, but
of course,
fuck if everyone's injured. But that's basically it. Liz didn't get her match of the night, but she did get the only point, because everyone else picked Jungle Boy. God damn it. But at least now we kind of have the confirmation that Luchasaurus is on Christian Cage's side, because afterwards he got the hug, and this is the first time that Luchasaurus has actually harmed Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the confirmation. No more speculation. Which side is he on? This is kind of the official thing.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Can we fucking end the speculation now? Next match. Another kind of match, kind of angle, kind of fucking huge letdown. Ricky Starks, the star that should have been, versus Powerhouse Hobbs, the star that they're apparently going with. Mikey, this was what you picked that could have been match of the night, and it fucking wasn't.
No. This was a popcorn fart if ever there was one. I don't remember much of the match just because of
wasn't much to remember.
I remember like they went into the heat segment rather quick with Hobbs going on speeding up Starks. A few falsies, and again waiting for it to kick into I was going to say kick into second or third gear, but I don't know that they even got out of park. Out of nowhere, not really out of nowhere, he's beating him up the whole time, and then it hits a spine buster, and that was it. And it was, and I don't think it was a result of having to cut time at all. It just was. I think that was the design finish. Yeah, man, it's just a colossal disappointment.
Yeah, huge fucking waste. You could have cut time from so many other matches. You could have cut so many matches. This deserved some fucking time.
No question.
No, this sucked. Did nothing for nobody. Fuck this match. And I feel bad for both people involved. They deserve better. Hopefully they will get it either here or a different company that'll serve them better. Next match. 6-man tag, because it apparently had to be one. House of Black versus Darby, Sting, and Miro, the first of Will the Streak End matches. Sting's undefeated streak on pay-per-view. What the hell? What is this? Oh, sorry. I wrote a note down and I couldn't fucking read it. My handwriting skills peaked at kindergarten. I can't. That's like the one thing that should have made me a doctor. I can't write worth a shit. The points. Oh yeah, I wrote it down. Yeah, Jade got Jade. Fuck me. Liz got the fucking. She got point? The only. Yeah, she got the only point for the Starks and Hobbs match.
Yep.
The House of Black and the House of Face Paint and Muscle Men match. At this point, I didn't give a goddamn. I really didn't. It was fun, but I literally wrote fun but uninteresting. I cared more about whether or not my stupid statistic was going to fucking be upheld than anything going on in this match.
And was it?
It was!
Yes!
It was! Sting still has his 5-0 on pay-per-view. Does anyone else know this?
I can't imagine so.
I mentioned it in this video, the previous podcast, and on a TikTok. But I still think no one knows.
I hope. Man, yeah, like you said, so uninterested. Like I think I remember while it was happening, we were having fun and it was enjoyable. But I think it would have been better served as a tornado tag with all of them kind of going at it all over the place. Chaos being a lot more fun than actual tag, and then trying to abide by the rules.
Sting got punched once at the very beginning of the match, and then he sold it like he got shot. Dude.
I like the premise of the finish. I did not like the execution of the finish. That
with
being
the mist.
Yeah, that being that Malachi Black goes for his black mass or whatever it's called now, and he spun around into mist. But here's the problem I had, right, was if he were to throw that kick and Sting ducked and then immediately came up when Malachi Black turned completely around and misted him, enjoyable. But he didn't even throw his foot up for the kick. He just, like, he went to the motions for the kick, but then spun around without ever throwing the kick. And it's like, if you would have thrown the kick, you would have already hit him. Like, the mist wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, I didn't even notice he misted him because one, we were too far to see the mist, and two,
right.
It didn't look like he went for a kick. It looked like he just like turned around.
Yeah, it looked like he hastily turned into him, and it was like, in my mind, I was thinking, like, because when you're going to feed into something, you take a little wider area that when you make that turn. And so when he turned right around, right to him, I was like, did they fuck up a spot? And in a way, yes, but it was a planned bad spot. I didn't like that at all.
No.
We did have, once cameras cut to backstage antics, we did have House of Black all coming back out, like waving to the crowd, and almost a send off as Malachi Black takes both hands and kisses.
Took a bow.
Yeah, took a bow and exited stage left.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Because shit. Buddy Matthews was always the like, why is he in this group kind of guy? So he could always exist by himself. But does Brody King work as a single? He can, but like,
yeah.
He can, but he has such a huge association with the House of Black that like he's always kind of feel like he was the guy with the other thing though. So
I think that'll drop by the wayside rather quickly when he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, but is it going to work in AEW? Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it going to be used well?
Oh. Is anything really used well?
Damn, that's a.
Well, again, we've seen so many guys heated up, cooled off, no time, tons of time.
Lance Archer. Knows?
But yeah, hypothetically, yes, because it's a guy who coming into AEW could have completely been on his own, but nobody would have really known who he was. And I think he has a much bigger profile now, and his single matches that he's had have helped him out in that way. Yeah, I think he'll be just fine. Oh. I'm interested to see what the plan is with Miro going forward.
If there ever will be one.
He was a complete non-factor in this match.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing. I don't know why he dropped the Redeemer stuff.
Well, he still has the Redeemer's name, but he doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah. So again, I remember like we were having fun while it was happening, but by and large, it was a forgettable match. And
yeah, me and Bree got the points on this one.
Okay.
That brings us to our
Jesus. All I hear is intermittent cutting out. I hear some...
Main event.
Do I not give you enough attention?
No. Main event. It's Jon Moxley and Punk.
It sure was.
It sure was. I want to see when Moxley comes out if you can see us, because he came out like right near where we were.
Oh yeah.
So we might have been visible on camera.
I think I would have got a text from Mom right away, because I know how close she is to the TV when Moxley's on. I have to imagine I would have known immediately.
Just drooling with You know,
right?
She loves that man. This was a weird one for me. There were a couple of things that were like, like Punk went for that kick that took him out of the last match, like a minute in, but he didn't sell it like it meant a damn thing.
Yeah, that was.
He didn't even pause. He just did it and then went along. You know, he didn't take a moment to be like, oh, I guess I'm good. Like, at no point did he even acknowledge the fucking foot. Like, Mox went for the fucking foot throughout the match, but when he threw that kick, there was a moment where the crowd was like, oh. He didn't do anything with it.
I thought that would be utilized later in the match, like when out of desperation, like he has to defend himself and throws that kick. So yeah, he knocks down Jon Moxley, knocks out Jon Moxley in the process, but at what cost? Because the damage he might have done to his foot. But no, it was just nothing, unceremonious.
Yeah, it was a weird thing, and there were a couple of moments where, in all honesty, at this point, my head was ringing. There were so many people cheering back and forth. Just the majority was cheering for Punk, obviously, but there were still people trying to cheer for Moxley.
Sure.
In terms of spot for spot, I'm spotty on it. You know, trying to remember things that actually fucking happened in the match. It's hard.
I'm the same way. I remember being. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Some of the CM Punk love almost felt forced.
Yeah. Little zip code.
Yeah, I mean, because Moxley's fucking awesome, and we all know that Moxley's fucking awesome. Outside of the one chant of "fuck Ohio,"
yeah,
there wasn't much there.
I'm not the biggest on Moxley.
Yeah, no, I gathered that, but I went right past it because whatever.
Okay, thanks. My opinions aren't worth a mention.
I was talking about Chicago at large. And so this kind of idea that we granted we love CM Punk, but this idea that Moxley was just this giant heel piece of shit who it's like, which wasn't the case. Like he beat him handedly.
He was healing it up a bit though. He kept flipping off the crowd and being like,
question.
Yeah. But I mean, what else can you do?
We loved Moxley.
Yeah. He kept, he was responding to the crowd. The crowd was being like, fuck you. And so he was like, well, fuck you too.
Right.
Like, that's what you should do. And there was another weird thing. I just remembered that they did. They fought into the crowd for all of like a minute. They fought into the crowd, went down one thing, and then came immediately back in, and then they never left the fucking like.
It wasn't like an Attitude Era one where you would like start over here, then they ended up over here, and now they're back on the ramp. And it was like literally they went to this area where Moxley had come in, and then they went right back. It was very strange.
Literally, it was strange. Like a minute and a half. Yeah, that was it. Like,
at most.
I get there's COVID going on, but like.
It felt forced.
Yeah, they did it so that they could have a couple clips of outside the ring going on.
Totally.
Yeah.
And again, by and large, I enjoyed the match. I had a lot of fun with the match. I actually really liked the finish, which was Punk hitting the GTS, but him also selling with Darby. If he hit Darby and Darby went through the ropes, like shit. Well, if he would have went down and he hit it, like he can't get the pin. But he hits it. Moxley falls into the ropes, falls right back over Punk's shoulders as he's kneeling. And like Punk just kind of looks up at the crowd like, well. And then so the second GTS is the finish. And I like that quite a bit.
They milked that moment very well.
Yeah, agreed. But and there was a spot earlier on in the match where Punk hit the GTS rather quickly into the match, and we all bought it as a possible finish because of their initial match.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, are they going to do this one quick too?" And
right. So there was some fun stuff like that. But man, I don't remember a lot of the match, like hold for hold, move for move kind of thing.
Yeah. I think there was was there a figure 4 at one point?
I think Moxley did a figure 4.
Yeah, and then CM Punk flipped him off, and Moxley was like,
Yeah.
"How could you?" And I was like, "Really? Have you never seen a finger before?"
Right. This was never going to be like, they tried to turn it into a CM Punk is the underdog babyface going in, and like it just was never that for me. Like it was so shoehorned in, and it was like kind of almost seemed like they were just going through, not them as in the match, but like AEW was going through the motions to get the belt back on Punk. So this match never felt like a big deal to me. And I think it gets even more drowned out by what happens immediately after the match. And then in turn, what Punk does the rest of the night. So,
so let's go with since we agreed not to go too much into that, let's go after the match. They have the finish, and then CM Punk is celebrating, and then lights cut out. Holy shit. And we had amongst our many guesses and our like, it would be shit if it was Enzo. One of them was we had speculated that it could be MJF, but we had agreed that it would kind of cannibalize his momentum because it would, it would stick him with a fucking jobber crew, and it would be like, right, well, whatever. And in the previous thing, there was a mix of things that you had said and I had said. I had said that I would expect Moxley to win because I had thought MJF might come out and screw CM Punk in front of the Chicago crowd and yada yada. You had said that you thought MJF might come out and not participate in the crowd in the match at all. Like the Joker would happen, the count out would happen, no one would come out, and then everyone would be tired. MJF would come out, do nothing, and then get the chip. And so there was a mix of that because a voicemail played where it was Tony Khan saying, I'll pay you. I want you to come back at All Out for the casino ladder match, and you don't have to sign an extension, but you got to come back for the casino ladder match or the deal's off. And then it shows a clip of CM Punk in Ring of Honor of his Snake promo saying like, I am the devil, tying into the song Sympathy for the Devil. And I even turned to you during the pay-per-view at one point, like, is there a clue in the song? Didn't figure out what the clue was, but it turns out there was a clue in the song.
There's another one as well that I learned after the fact.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. After it was something that happened with MJF and Punk, and MJF was kind of in the right, and MJF ended up getting his ass beat, like kind of run out the ring. So he does a backstage promo, and you hear all the boo, and he goes, "Oh, like even though I'm in the right, we're still gonna boo me. Like what? No sympathy for the devil." He actually says, "What? No sympathy for the devil."
Damn, yeah, so, that's spot on, man. Spot on.
So I would have never gotten that, but again, we have so many internet sleuths now that put that together, and it's like, oh, there is storytelling here.
Yeah. There was a lot of people. Every time there was a match in there that wasn't quite connecting with the audience, everyone else was on their phone on Twitter. There was someone behind us that was like, hey, I think it's Matt Cardona. No, I think it's this guy. No, I think it's that guy. Everyone was trying to figure it out all throughout the show. Twitter was a buzz. But finally, the Joker guy with the devil mask comes on, and he takes off the mask, not facing the camera. Then he puts on the scarf, and everyone's like, holy shit! And everyone's cheering for MJF when he finally comes out, totally ignoring the fact that he's supposed to be an asshole. And he even flips off the crowd. Everyone's like, yeah, fuck us, right? Yeah, fuck Chicago. From Chicago. we deserve it. And then Punk raises the belt, and then that's the go home angle. And then Punk gets the mic, and as people are leaving, he says, like, thank you all for coming. I know these like 76-hour pay-per-views are a lot for some people, but for a guy like me, it really matters that people stay for the main event. So thank you all very much. And that was the last thing he said before the media scrum. That was the last public thing he said. So for guys like me, it matters a lot for that people stay for the main event. Now, like we said, we're not going to delve into he said this, they said this, reports say that, but that did stick in my head like that.
When he said it too, it was like, that was odd. Okay, cool. But
that sounded a little odd, but all right.
Yeah. It's Punk, so you always take it with, I don't know if that's shade at someone or shade at himself.
Yeah.
If he's taking the piss out of him getting older and his self-doubt, or if he's talking about others who don't quite appreciate I don't know. I had no idea. Yeah. I didn't worry or think too much about it, like we said.
Yeah, because we didn't know. It's not like I'm an ordained minister with the Universal Life Church and Monastery. Non-denominational. I'm not a religious person at all. I ordained my dad's hand fasting, and he's pagan. With that, I get I have a placard in my car that says like ministerial business, and on the other side is a media pass. So I don't know how to use that, but if ever there is a time I ever learn how to do that. I don't know if ever I could use this platform to get into a media scrum, but if I ever learn how to do that and can do that, I need to get into these fucking media scrums and start asking questions, because that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Holy shit.
Mind you, you'd have to stick around if we're going together. But
keep the car warm.
This is Vivian Jade for the Kick Out at One podcast. I have a question for you, Mr. Punk. What the fuck was that? Holy shit! What the shit was that? What you scissor granny ass?
I'm sorry, what is your question? All right.
Let me repeat myself. I ask you, Philip Brooks, would you scissor Daddy Ass's grandmother? Anyway.
The night itself, the pay-per-view itself,
yes,
finished on such a wonderful note.
You and Bree got a point for the main event.
Yippee. But I mean, it was by the end of the night, I'm just like, oh God, I'm off Twitter. I don't want to deal with it.
Oh,
don't care.
No, just
don't care what's being said, what's happening. Like, I'm not going to let all this that's going on take away or diminish how much I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I just wanted to enjoy what happened to us.
Yeah.
Because we enjoyed it. And sometimes you just want to enjoy yourself.
Their drama is their drama, and I'm there to enjoy professional wrestling, and that's what I did. So
yeah,
I can give a shit.
Then we got stuck in a parking lot for 30 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
Hell. That
So I know the crowd's wondering, because there's no way they were keeping score, as I couldn't. Liz won, but by how much?
The scores are closer than you might think.
Okay.
Yes. In a tied third place.
What's that?
Mikey and Bree with 7 points. Yeah. In second place with 8 points. Me.
Yeah.
Which means that Liz did in fact win, but only beating me by 2 points, meaning she got 10 points. So it was a lot closer than what you might think. Yes.
It was.
This is the final grid.
Fuck.
There you go.
All right.
There you are.
When we get the Patreon going, we do have the Patreon going, but when because I don't know what I'm doing on there. Like, let's say we could throw up the memorabilia there. Have have some auction off our notes.
Someone wants to buy this scrap of paper.
Hey, to be fair, we could have signed it, and I could have gotten some very cool people to sign it.
That is true.
One of which, you'll appreciate this, my buddy Roman, as you met.
Yeah.
Came in from North Carolina, and from Boone, North Carolina, so up on the Appalachian Mountains. He's about an hour from anything even considered a town.
I feel that.
So he came into Saturday night. He was staying at a Stay America. I'm not fond with them at all. I just know it was $60 for the hotel. So I was like, hey, I'll pick you up. You had to Uber to the motel rather. I'll grab you. And we'll go to the, I think it's just called the Schaumburg Public House. It's this nice ass restaurant that's attached to the Renaissance. And so, I mean, there's some of the guys at the bar, some of the gals eating. And so afterwards, you were up there. It takes an escalator to go up into the lobby. And so we come past where that big fire pit area was, and walking by the escalators is someone just like, and it's rather dark. It was around 1 o'clock in the morning at this point, but rather dark, like looking around as if they're like, well, I know I'm staying here, but I have no fucking idea where I'm supposed to be or what's going on. And sure enough, I was just like, hey, what's up, Tony? You good? And he's like, well, hey, fellas. And he's just looking around. Yeah, I'll be good. And it was Tony Khan. So yeah, we can get some Tony Khan's signature on some notes. Let's go.
God damn, man.
Yeah.
I thought we were all splitting up right after that. I didn't know you guys were still hanging out.
No, that was Saturday night that we did.
Oh, okay.
He came in on Saturday night. Yeah. No.
Okay.
And I got a call from some people that were like, "Hey, you're just dropping them off and coming?" Like, no, I'm going home. And then the long pause, like, okay. How far is your house? I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm going home. No, this was Saturday night. When he flew in after she was in the room taking a nap, and me and Roman went and grabbed food.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, like, I didn't know if there was something else going on afterwards, and I was
they were doing the media scrum and stuff. Obviously, no.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I didn't fucking think about a media scrum. I had
no idea that was going to be a thing. Is that just a staple?
Yeah,
Is that just something they do?
I know it now. Every time they have a pay-per-view, they have a media scrum afterwards. But I
never realized. Like,
I didn't remember it at the time. So
no, me either. And I realized too, like after hearing about it, like, oh, I know. Like I always get either clips or info from stuff that happened after the show.
Yeah, some podcast reviews of it, or sometimes it's.
I didn't realize there was straight up designated media scrums that they were all doing interviews, like New Japan and boxing and stuff like that, or like a presser. So I didn't even realize that was a thing that they were doing, but
yeah,
I like the idea, provided that it's used in a way that's formidable for the company, and I guess time will tell.
We'll see. We'll see.
For me, tomorrow, Dynamite is definitely a must see.
Oh yeah.
I just want to know what's happening with MJF. I want to know what's happening with the Acclaimed. And definitely going to watch with Mom and see how that goes.
Hopefully my login will actually work this time. Because I'd actually
God, that's right.
Watch the show.
Yeah.
Christ.
Oh, well, kick us out of here because you're never going to believe who has to take a monster pee again.
Jesus, that's a nice send off.
Right,
I was just going to go with
piling all these water bottles over here.
At least you're using the good water. The great value water actually tastes good.
I do. I like it.
Yeah, other bottled waters they taste not good. That's your proving comment that you got this far into the episode. Tell us what your favorite flavor of bottled water is, and you can't use like flavor packets in this shit. I use flavor packets to get my water to taste this whatever. Bree always gets shit from other people like, oh, different bottled waters don't taste whatever. It's not true. bottled waters have different taste.
Yeah.
Dasani's the worst one, right?
Fucking terrible.
You agree. Dasani tastes like fucking fluoride. It's god awful.
It's awful.
What?
It's got salt.
It's got salt in it. There you go.
Oh,
So,
God.
Tell us your favorite bottled water flavor. We got the great value drinking water right over there. It's just off camera. You could, I don't want to move the camera. Point is to get you out of here because you got to pee.
Yeah,
Thank y'all very much for watching this episode of Kick Out at One podcast. Click in the description to follow us on all the social medias. I'm talking fast so Mike can go to the bathroom.
It's okay. I got it.
Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel and download us on Podbean or watch us on all the other audio platforms. Watch us on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts now. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on a lot of fucking audio platforms now. So we're on a lot of places, a lot of things. Watch us, listen to us, all the places. We have individual social medias, individual YouTube channels. Mikey's wrestling in places. I'm narrating and doing voice work in places. Thank you very much for watching and listening wherever you did or do. Have a very nice day. For myself, Vivian, Jade, the trained unprofessional, for Mikey, Forever Lost Wild. Said it like it was a formal name. Have yourself a merry fucking day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right, you can go to the bathroom now.
Kick out at one! I kick out at one! Hook of the leg and a kick out at one! A kick out at one! Kick out at one! Hooks the leg and a kick out at one! Kicked out at one!